Cups, the Knight of Cups. And I like this energy for this week. When you look at this image, this knight is riding a unicorn. So for some of you, there may be someone who is a harbinger of good news, good luck. And it may be a water sign person. It could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And it may be their sun, their moon, or their rising sign. Now, a unicorn represents happiness, prosperity. They have the power to heal just by touch. So there could be some good fortune coming to you this week. It's a week where a lot of emotion is playing out. And you may be focused on amusement or holidays or some kind of entertainment. It could be a proposal on offer, some kind of agreement in the offing. Maybe you're even connecting to someone romantically, or you're working on something creative. So these are welcome agreements, unions, some kind of victory in love for you. And perhaps it's a new relationship. This is a week where you actually have the power to get what you want. You are, intuitive, your psychic ability is enhanced, and you seem to understand other people, their psychological motivations. And you use that either to outwit your opponent or again to win your desire. So for some of you, you're focused on some kind of dream, perhaps going after a dream, or you're being an idealist this week. Maybe you're championing a cause. You're rooting for the underdog. For others of you, there's some kind of creative project. You could be a dancer or a musician, a writer, a poet, an artist. For others of you, this is a week that focuses on the emotional, people who can delve inside of the psyche. So it may be a focus on a counselor or a therapist or a psychologist or perhaps even a psychic. It's a week where you may be seduced by someone or tempted by someone that appears to be your ideal partner. Or it could be a week where you're seeking some kind of higher knowledge. You're a spiritual seeker of some sort. Whatever it is, you can achieve your objective this week with hard work and your natural charisma. And perhaps you're taking a humorous approach to things to sort of ease any kind of tension that you encounter. But you also use this as a mechanism to keep yourself on track, to maintain your schedule, even though this is a week where you're likely to receive a lot of pleasant social invitations, professional proposals, and other offers. So it's a week where you're very intuitive, you have a lot of foresight, and you're using your charm, your magnetism, and the skill of gentle persuasion to confront challenge or to redirect matters. And if you are connecting with someone romantically, this could be a week where you start to realize that you are falling hard and you are falling fast, even though perhaps initially that wasn't your intent. Now, negatively, it can be a week where there's a bit too much reliance on charm. And if that's the case, you're not going to be able to smooth things out or talk your way out of something, despite the fact that you may think you have a silver tongue. And it's a week about temptation, and in some cases, you may be a little bit more daring than necessary. And maybe you're going all out to be charming, and the harder you try to impress, the less so it occurs. So for some of you, things are going swimmingly well, and then all of a sudden, with no kind of explanation whatsoever, matters seem to fall apart. Something falls through, or maybe your relationship, you went out on a couple of dates, it felt like it was headed somewhere, and then things go silent. And, if you had some kind of travel plans or social plans you were putting together, something about that may fall through at the last minute. In some cases, the Knight of Cups is a little bit mysterious, maybe vague. Now, that could be, playing it vague or playing hard to get, being seductive or mysterious or alluring. But in some cases, the Knight of Cups is not being completely honest. So you may find yourself in an exchange where either you or the other person isn't really putting all the cards on the table. Now, that could be either because you're playing your cards close to your chest, or again, there's something a little bit shady taking place. And, if you are making promises or you're making overtures that are superficial or they lack depth, you could be called out on that. And you likewise will recognize when people are disingenuous. And so if that's the case, there could be some temptations that rely on a false sense of security. So this is a week where, you have a real talent for promoting unity in matters, and you also have that same power to create dissension among others. So it's a week where either you're going after what you want and you're using your magnetism to get it, or it's taken to the extreme. There's a lot of brown nosing, or you're dealing with issues of infidelity or swindling, or somebody that's a habitual liar. It could be a hopeless romantic, in love with love, or you could be dealing with somebody narcissistic and passive aggressive, or, this could be a week where the boundary lines are blurred. Maybe someone has poor personal boundaries, or there's a fragile sense of identity, or somebody who doesn't want to take responsibility for themselves. Or again, it could be a week of breadcrumbing, somebody who is misleading, or they're being deliberately vague, or they're not telling the whole truth. In the positive, this is a extremely romantic, highly creative, intuitive week where you can make great strides in the artistic arena and in your relationships.